Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, which some would say is the most anticipated movie of this month, which is kind of sad seeing that The Hobbit also came out, which I will like to remind you is a Lord of the Rings film. Just want to say, it might not be Lord of the Rings, but it's still in that universe. Saying that. But yeah, this is a very, very anticipated movie because the first one came out all the way back in 2004, and I love that movie. It's so quotable, it's so funny, it's so enjoyable. Great movie, in my opinion. Well, great comedy, I should say. So I love that film. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. So, of course, I was on board for a sequel, and I heard all the early reviews, and I got even more excited. My pants were tight. I'll just say that. Take that as you will. I don't know what that means. But I was really excited for Anchorman 2, so let me tell you what I thought of it with the story. The story for Anchorman, The Legend Continues, follows Ron Burgundy, played by Will Ferrell, once again, who is at the top of his game. He's like a huge newscaster. He's still married to Veronica Corningstone, played by Christina Applegate once again, and he actually thinks he's about to get a big promotion. And of course, he gets fired, and then he gets divorced from his wife. So he's just at rock bottom. And then a couple months pass, and then he has another chance to become the big newscaster that he knows he is. And he gets a job opportunity to be a newscaster for a 24-hour news station, which he thinks is ridiculous. How can you do 24 hours of news? That's preposterous. So he takes the job, of course. He gets the old gang back, which includes Brick, Brian, and Champ, all played by Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, and David Kushner. And he gets them all back together. They go in there, they do their job, and of course they start, getting all the ratings, and they become the badasses. And a lot of funny stuff happens, and some stupid stuff happens. And hey, whatever. That's the story. First, Anchorman had a ridiculous story, and I would say the story in Anchorman 2 takes that ridiculous story and times it by 2 on the ridiculous scale, because this movie is batshit insane. I'm just gonna say it. Sorry, curse words. I don't like to use them too much in reviews, but I'm gonna say it. It's crazy. This movie is nuts, and I love it. Every single frame of this movie, there's something weird. I wouldn't say weird, but there's always something that's supposed to be funny, or someone saying something funny, or there's a funny reaction in the background. It really is a silly movie, but it's so much fun. This is the type of silly movie I like. I don't like stupid crap like Scary Movie 5 or inappropriate comedy, which I even review. Don't get me started. In Movie 43, stupid stuff like that. That's just like, hey, I just farted. No, it's not that stupid stuff. It's surreal, it's funny, everybody's at the top of their game here. There are tons and tons of cameos, and the movie is 2 hours long. Longer than any of the movies I just talked about. And it never is boring. It's so funny all the way throughout. Now, there might be a couple of jokes that either you don't get, or you just don't think are funny, or you think are just so ridiculous that they just, I didn't laugh. There's a couple of them that I thought were kind of but for the most part, there are so many jokes in this that completely work. And everybody here is great. Now, I'm not going to talk about the cameos. I'm just going to say all of them are great because I want you to be surprised, especially towards the end. But Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd, friggin' Steve Carell is hilarious in this. David Kushner, Christina Applegate, James Marsden is really funny in this. Just so many great cast members in this film, and some of them that you would never expect to actually do a comedy like this. Like James Marsden, I never thought he would do a comedy like this, and he's really funny in it. So everybody's great, everybody's really funny. Whew, it's surreal, it's ridiculous, I loved it. So there you go, there's the story and there's the acting. Now, I know not everybody's going to love this film. Even the audience I was with tonight, which I was a little depressed that there was only like maybe 8 or 9 people. Maybe it's because it's Wednesday, I'm not sure. But I saw it on Wednesday. The people I saw with, they even started to go, okay, these jokes are kind of ridiculous. Towards the end, there are so many just surreal and just dumb jokes that are, in my opinion, really smart because they're just really out there and very witty. But a lot of people are just like, what is going on? At the end, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a whole big brawl, which I loved. It was so good. And every time they would introduce a new group of newscasters, there was always like a really big cameo, and it made me laugh my ass off and go, whoa, they got him in this film? Or whoa, they got her in this? What? That's crazy. And there was a couple people behind me like, all right, this is going just too far. And me, I was just like, no, I can keep going. I don't care. It's ridiculous, but it's so funny. I really don't want to say anything about this, but let's just say it dives into some fantasy dumb stuff. You know, not fantasy smart stuff, fantasy dumb stuff. That's a whole category of stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this movie is ridiculous, and that part, ooh, it blew some people's minds. I felt bad for them because their minds were blown, but it was really funny. I think it's very smartly written for the most part, even though there's a lot of racial jokes and even some, not really fart jokes, but definitely bodily jokes at times. Like, there's a whole part of Kristen Wiig. The whole joke is that her ass is just smushed onto a plate glass, and that's supposed to be funny, which it wasn't funny. But, you know, even though there's some jokes that don't work, for the most part, it's a really funny movie, entertaining all the way throughout. Like I said, it's 2 hours long, and I never felt like, okay, let's wrap it up. No, it's funny. It always brought something new, insane, and just hilarious. I keep saying this, but this movie's funny. I don't know. I keep saying it's insane, it's surreal. That's it. That's it. That's all I have to say. It's just so fun and funny. I loved it. That's it. I really did. So, even though there's a couple jokes that didn't work, that's it. So expect to see some really insane stuff in this film. Don't expect like really insane, like what the hell am I watching insane. Just expect it not to be a typical comedy. Don't expect Grudge Match, because this isn't really based in realism, or this isn't based in the real world, I should say. So there you go. There's my review. I'm gonna give it a 36 out of 40. I loved it. I really did. So there you go. There's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and goodbye.